Hey, Rodney, what's happening? No, buddy. It's the Bengals that are going to the Super Bowl. Oh, you're dropping the Browns off at the Super Bowl, Rodney. I don't think any of us really want to hear about your bathroom adventures there. Anyway, what's that? Yeah, well, I thought from the campsite we'd do a nice little Super Bowl party. What do you want? Irish nachos? Shoot, yeah, we'll do that. We'll put a little cheese on top of it. Maybe even some jalapeno, some corned beef and cabbage. Oh, son, that'll be hardly fit to eat. Yeah, and I tell you what, y'all stick around. I'll show you how. What was that? No, Rodney. For the last time, I'm not telling everybody about your OnlyFans page.
Before we go any further, I'd like to remind you guys, please don't forget to mash that subscribe button, give me a big old thumbs up, maybe even leave me a comment or two. I sure would appreciate it. What you're going to need for this year recipe is some kettle cut chips. Going to need some cheeses like Swiss and cheddar. About half a pound of corned beef. Going to need some spring onion, a jalapeno, some angel hair cabbage, and some Thousand Island dressing. Alright, we're going to start off with my 12-inch Dutch oven here. And you see I've put some oil in the bottom and I'm going to line it with some parchment paper. I'll get into more details here in a few minutes. Now I'm going to clean and cut up about half of a jalapeno pepper. You put in as much as you want. Mrs. Eatin Good in the Woods and I don't like things to be extra spicy, but we do kind of like the taste of jalapeno. Going to stick it off to the side, put it in this here bowl. Then we're going to get us about 4 or 5 green onions. And cut them into little bits and make sure you get some of that green stalky in there because that's just as tasty. And we'll take and scoop that up and put it in the bowl as well. And stick that off to the side. Now we've got some thick cut corned beef here that we're going to cut into little tiny strips and then again into little tiny bits. The reason for that is we want to make sure a little bit of corned beef gets into every bite. Hey Rodney, what's the difference between a northern fairy tale and a southern fairy tale? Well, a northern fairy tale begins once upon a time, while a southern fairy tale begins, y'all ain't gonna believe this. That's funny. Now we'll just give it a good mix. And stick it off to the side. Now let's get that Dutch oven back. And we're going to start by layering in some of these kettle cooked chips. Now listen, you guys can use whatever chips you want. I use kettle cooked because they're thicker cut and they're really sturdy. And then we're just going to start layering. We'll go kettle cut chips and then some of that meat veg mixture. And then we'll start throwing in some cheese. And some of that angel hair cabbage. And we'll just keep going till we get to the very top. But you want that last layer to end with the cheese. Make sure it's well distributed. We'll put the lid on it and take it on out to camp back porch. Now I've got a few details to lay on you about this 12-inch Dutch oven and the process, but first, a word from our sponsors. Say, that reminds me, if y'all are looking for a way to support this channel, keep this here trainer rolling full of farm fresh content twice a week, why don't you slide over to my Teespring shop, get yourself a coffee mug or maybe even a t-shirt. But if you don't want to do that, how about you go to buymeacoffee.com, and for the price of a cup of coffee, you help keep this train a-rolling. You can also visit boondockerswelcome.com. All of the links are in the description. Thanks a bunch. Now, like I said, I'm using my 12-inch Dutch oven. So the formula to get 350 degrees in normal conditions is 12 inches times 2. Then you're going to divide that by thirds and put a third on the bottom and put the other 2/3 on top. But today was a blistery cold day, so I was having a hard time getting it down to 350 degrees. So I added about another 10 coals on top, and I finally got there in the end. Now you notice how I'm turning the lid here. Well, the reason I do that is to make sure you don't get any hot spots. So about every 15 minutes, turn it a quarter of a turn. Use that handle like the minute hand on a clock. Under normal conditions, this would have taken about 30 minutes, but with it being so cold out, it wound up taking about an hour. Just keep an eye on it. And here's what it looks like. Aw, yeah. Let's put a little of that Thousand Island on top. Woo! Now I want you to take a look. That right there is gonna be hardly fit to eat. But I think all we got left to do is taste it. I've got a little chip sitting off to the side here with all the goodness on it. We're gonna give it a taste. Here it goes. That right there is hardly fit to eat. We're gonna keep going till we find a good spot. Yes, sir. You make that for your Super Bowl party, you'll have a bunch of happy guests. Listen, that's going to about do it for this episode of Eatin Good in the Woods. I sure love y'all. Going out there and being nice to one another. God bless.